I recently heard someone say that consistency is the most important factor in keys to success. And that's tough because I think in some ways I'm not a very consistent person. But I have done one thing consistently this year, and that is I've closed my rings on my watch every single day in 2024. It's August 21st, and every day since January 1st until now, every day I've closed my rings. So I can be consistent, and I'm thinking, let's apply this consistency to other things. It's not easy, but we can do it. Let's go. Let's be consistent. You can be consistent too. Let's go. Every morning I try to get up. I guess that's one of the things I want to be consistent in, but it doesn't always happen consistently. Let's say usually by about 5:30, and I'm up there making some coffee, listening to a chapter in the Bible, and trying to meditate on it, pray towards it, and then get out, put my shoes on, go for a run. I found a route where I'm living these days that I like. It's like 8 kilometers. Is that like 4 miles or something? Anyway, I run that, get home. Sometimes the family's not up yet. Sometimes they're already up and going. But shower, get going on whatever I have for the day. Usually the family is eating breakfast, so doing something with them at breakfast. Making sure we're on the same page for the day. Got different things going. And then, before lunch is kind of work time or meetings, different things going on. And then in the afternoon, we've got more time for some calls, some meetings, some follow-ups. But one thing I get to do here, where I'm living right now in Minnesota, that I don't get to do as often in Taiwan, is I get to, there's a lake like close to our house, and I get to go to the lake. It's close enough to walk there in like 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I usually try to jog there, and then the boys, my older 2 boys, are on bikes, so you get there a little bit more quickly, and then have ourselves a fun time at the lake hanging out. That's really fun for me in the late afternoons. And then dinner, family hanging out time, and then kind of a routine getting ready for bed. So it's kind of a simple day in the life right now. What life is like, things I look forward to, and good times. What are you consistent in? What are you maybe not so consistent in, but would potentially like to be more consistent in? You get to choose. You get to choose. Now, I do think there are right and wrong things, good and bad, healthy and unhealthy choices that you can make, which is why I chose fitness to be one important thing for me. Closing my rings every day is just one measurement to make sure that I'm on track with that consistently. But the reason why is because my body, I believe, is a temple of God. The Bible says that God wants to come and live in each of us. So my body, what I do with it, it matters to God. He cares about me, and He wants to be close to me, and I want to take care of it. I also care about family, and I want my family to be able to be around a healthy me for years, to play with grandkids someday, and to be able to be healthy enough to support my wife and to care for her. That's something that my family that I grew up in didn't always seem to put much effort towards or care about, and I think that's been a struggle for my family. So I wanted to be different. So I want to go in on and care about making sure that I'm healthy. And I guess I'm pretty consistent in exercising this year in 2024, but maybe not so consistent at some other things that I think we definitely see improvement on. So what are the areas that you are consistent in? Let's celebrate those, and what are the areas that you're not so consistent in, that you wish that you would like to be more consistent in? What do you think? What do you got? It's calm now, but for later this afternoon it's going to be crazy, probably. I mean, can't guarantee it, but when your beach rules metal sign has been shredded, yeah, you know it's going to be crazy. Anyway, out there, living it up. This is the park and the swimming area that I referenced, that I went say I take the kids to sometimes. It's pretty fun. It's pretty good times. So let me get back to my route here. Ooh, got to sneeze. Have you ever seen anybody do this before? I don't think I've ever done this, but it just popped into my head and it stopped it. That was kind of magical. Witnessed magic right on the screen, and I'm not even a magician. So this guy, Jordan Peterson, we're working through his book in a class I'm teaching. More of a book club discussion group, but he says if you want to, if you're frustrated about something, then write it down. Write down what it is that frustrates you and what you can do about it. So think that if you are inconsistent in some area that you want to be more consistent in, then write it down. Write down what it is. Write down what you want to be consistent in and why. Like, I can tell you that the health motivation for me has been huge. I have that motivation built right in. I wrote down why this matters to me, and I'm trying to follow that in fitness. Are there other areas? Yes, and I want to get to those as well. But for you, write it down. Write down where you would like to be consistent and start with something. If you want help, one thing I would like to do is help more people find this consistency. Not that I know all the answers, but maybe we can help each other on the journey. So let's give it a shot. Oh, thought I was being followed. No, just making it to the end of the path. Okay, and maybe one of the things we can do is go through a program Jordan Peterson has called, so I'm running and talking about writing down your goals. I remember Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program. I say that on the video. And I go on the website and you can get two self-authoring, I think he calls it suites. So like a full collection. And there's actually three courses built into it. There's past authoring, present authoring, and future authoring. And you get that whole thing for, usually it's $30 US, but you get a free coupon to give to a friend. So basically every self-authoring program, past, present, future, would be $15 per person. What if we just bought a bunch of these and then went through them? I think that could be really interesting. I just bought a few of them, help walk through the program, give some insights and ideas, let you write alongside of me. We can write together and then author ourselves. Kind of interesting. Let me read you some of the things on here. It says past authoring is working on your past trauma, translating your narrative or your story, making sense of your experiences, analyzing key memories. Those are things that happen in past authoring. And then you've got present authoring. Let's see, that's discovering your strengths, addressing your weaknesses, understanding how your mind works, and knowing your habits. That could work with our consistency, right? And sometimes they say that you're inconsistent because, or any other like character flaw or weakness, some of that stuff is related to you, the issue of you, like stuff that happened in the past. So if we go through past authoring, we understand those experiences and by writing them out and understanding them, we can move past them and integrate them in a healthy way into our lives. Then we get to figure out, okay, our strengths and our weaknesses, habits, how that works. In Minnesota, you always wave at everybody who comes by. It's a Minnesota nice thing. Not all Minnesotans are very nice. I'm probably not the nicest person, but you just gotta wave, just give them a hand. And the trick is, let me see if I can show you this. If you're driving, this is very important. Okay, if you're driving, your hand's on the wheel, right? And then somebody's like in the car coming the opposite direction, or maybe they are on the road and you see them, you're coming towards them. Usually it's like 2-finger wave. So you keep your hand kind of on the wheel, but then up like that. That's important. Kind of 2-finger wave. Other people might do like the hand up. I do the hand up when I'm running and the car's like coming towards me. It's just one of these, like, hey, acknowledge that you're existing, and me too, and we're existing together in this space for 3 seconds while you drive past me. So anyway, big truck. Definitely gotta wave at the big truck when they come back. I got the 2-finger wave. Wish I could have shown you, but it's too dark inside the cabs, So anyway, okay, self-authoring, past, present, then the final one is the future authoring. And the future authoring. Future authoring, strategizing your life, achieving clarity, designing the future, and identifying obstacles. That sounds very interesting. Oh boy. Maybe we won't do that course thing. Maybe you don't need to do the self-authoring program. But there's one thing that's been very helpful to me, and I've heard it in the stories of a lot of people, they mention this thing for them. And that is just calling out to God in prayer. Saying like, God, for many people's stories, they're like, God, I don't even know if you're real, but I want to, if you are, I want to know, and I want to grow. And I just think like, yeah, people that don't even know if God is real, they just say that, like, hey, God, I want to know you, or I need help with this. If you're real, show me. And then they're like, the rest of their life has changed. And it makes me think, if you don't know God, give that a try, because there are so many stories of people who say things like, God, if you're real, show up. And he does. And then if you do know God, if you are a follower of Jesus, well then we better get back into prayer and say, God, I need help. You know who's the most consistent? Actually, the inspiration for this whole video started out because I was just thinking, man, I want to be more consistent. And then I looked over at the sun. I looked over at that sunrise and I said, that sun comes up every morning and it sets every night. And there's never a question. It's consistent. God is the most consistent. And he says to us, like, we can have the mind of Christ. We can have the character of God in our lives. That's for each of us. So why not? Why not just be consistent and go for it? But might have to start with a prayer. And there might have to be some things you fix. Like this. Let's see here. My shoe is untied. Okay. Gotta tie the shoe. Okay. And we're back. Almost done. Yeah. So, just give a shout out to God. See what he wants to do. God help. Yeah.